Hi there everybody, welcome back to my channel and thank you very much for watching, as the last video I did on a should you pull video for Agrias actually seemed to go down very well, so I've decided to make it more of a regular thing. And this week we're going to be talking about Paloms Lost Chapter, and Palom as a character, whether it's worth pulling for him or whether it's worth skipping him and saving your gems for somebody else. So if you're interested in Palom or not interested in Palom necessarily and just want to save up gems, then stay tuned and keep on watching. So who is on Palom's banner, why would we be pulling for these characters if we wanted to, and what kind of reasons are there for the banner to exist in the first place? So we know that the banner is going to have Palom on it obviously, as well as his He-X weapon, which we'll get to shortly. And the banner should also feature Vanille and Edge if his previous sort of release was anything to go by, and obviously the Lost Chapter's release in Japan. Now, do I think that this banner is worth pulling on? In short, not really. Because Palom is a cool character, like he's cool in that he sort of reduces ice resistance, he's self-enchanting with ice, and I'll get to all the specifics of that in just a moment. But Vanille we probably would have gotten from having pulled in the last Awakening batch, because she does have quite a strong Awakening, but I don't think her alone is worth pulling on this banner for. And Edge has underperformed since his initial release, so whether you have his weapons or not, he's just not that great a character, and there are much better out there. Now the bosses themselves that we'll be fighting will be the pair of Iguions that we fought when he came around the first time, and honestly these guys aren't too difficult. You know, we've got loads of really strong characters now. We've just had Agrias, we have Beatrix. They're actually weak to lightning and magic, so Beatrix should have an absolute whale of a time against these guys, and you've got plenty of options there. So honestly, on the back of just whether you need to pull for these characters in order to clear the content, no, not in the slightest. So looking at Palom himself here on DissidiaDB.com, which again I will always encourage you guys to go out and look, then you know, Palom, we have his passive abilities. He'll get his level 60 Awakening, and he hasn't had a rework in Japan as of yet. If you have a look on Reddit, there's an extensive list of all the characters that have received reworks, and Palom actually isn't one of them. So what you see here is what he's going to be getting for the foreseeable future. And he gets some nice things, like apart from level 70 Awakening there, we can ignore that bit. So his Bluff Extend kind of just makes it so that he does more damage. It's kind of like a lot of characters where they have an HP attack after buffing their bravery or being a brave battery in general, and it makes his brave attack plus last for longer, it makes it stronger. It basically is just more of what he already does, and what he already does is okay at best. And then the Dissidia's Ice Crystal Extend makes the Wisdom of Black Magic last longer, triggers HP attack after use, which makes it so that he's got a lot of sort of brave HP going on, which is nice. And then his dual cast attack goes up by 6 turns, but he also gets extra damage across the board on other targets as well, and it gets stronger each time you use Dissidia's Ice Crystal. So he's going to be really good for farming, if nothing else. Like you can use him to clear cycle quests really quickly, really easily. But honestly, you don't really need to have a character like that at this point. There's so many that you don't really need to worry about it. So looking at the attacks themselves, so turning his HP attack into dual cast basically makes it so that his HP attack becomes a brave plus HP attack that's stronger depending on how big the Dissidia's Ice Crystal you used has been, or how long it will last. And it's okay, we saw this back when SAS 35 was a thing, and it was really good then. But honestly, we have so many wider options now that I just don't think it's necessary to have a character like this. Unless you're really worried about things being weak to ice, if you want something that's specific to ice characters, then maybe you could look into Palom. But, you know, we've had characters that have sort of a specific resistance that they target, characters like Fujin and Kane, characters like that they just don't tend to do very well. If you're a massive fan of Final Fantasy IV in general and like Palom, then definitely pull for Palom. You know, there's nothing to stop you from getting all of his stuff. But the thing that sort of what happens is that if you get all of his gear, is that it makes it so that his attacks have HP attacks, but then his Awakening kind of does that as well. So they kind of just do more of the same. He's very narrow. Palom is a very narrow character. He is used for one purpose, and that is to take out things that are weak to ice. And so therefore it's not that worthwhile getting him. Though he does get an EX ability in this, this time around. So if you're lucky enough to get Palom's EX, let's have a look at what it does. First thing I want to note is the fact that the ability is called When You Wish Upon a Star is the most adorable thing ever, and I love it, but that's not going to be enough for me to want to pull for this character. So Stardust, which is the attack itself, is a 2-hit AoE Brave HP attack, which inflicts Ice Resist down for 4 turns, which follows up with another AoE Brave HP attack, moderately increases Brave damage to 1 target, so basically if there's only 1 target, it will do more damage than it would have done if there was a group. HP damage is divided equally among all targets, which is a little bit, since we've seen more than one EX now that does sort of spread damage completely evenly, like the maximum damage for everybody. Tidus does that and Agrias does that, so to see it kind of go back on itself a little bit is a bit, That being said, you do get 2 Brave HP attacks off of it, so that's something worth noting. And then, you know, it extends the passives he gets from his other attacks for 3 turns, and it also extends his Brave Attack Plus and Dual Cast, or his HP Attack Plus, for more turns. Now, the only thing that's really worth noting when it comes to the limit breaks on Stardust is the Stardust Buff Plus, which is the second one, grants Ice Enchant for 6 turns after Stardust's initial Brave HP attack. So the second one will get the Ice Enchant, which means that you'll deal more damage. Though that being said, shouldn't he have gotten that from the beginning anyway? If all of his kit revolves around being ice, then surely you're going to need something that capitalizes on that. So maybe, like I said, the problem I have with Palom is that he's very railroaded. He's very, very good in the one niche he has, which is against ice-weak monsters, but that's all he really does. So whether you want somebody that's there to prey on ice-weak characters and monsters is going to determine whether you want to pull for Palom or not. So as you can see, as of the recording of this video, Paloms Lost Chapter will arrive tomorrow, and then it's also going to be followed by a lot going on, which is going to be the last level 60 awakening, crystal awakenings for various characters, the primary target for me of which will be Lilith's set, alongside Lightning's EX and presumably a second EX as well, so it's worth noting that. And then we'll also get the Spring Hunt as well. I'm going to be doing a video on Idoja and artifacts that are aimed at beginners. I know a lot of people watching this video probably know all about them, but I think that in order to kind of help newer players get into the game, I think it's important to explain how artifacts work and what they're useful for, as well as giving recommended sort of artifacts for the characters that are showcased within the event. But because we know that Lightning EX is decent, it's a very popular EX. It's not necessarily a game-breaking one, but it's a popular one. I will be doing another Should You Pull video and a Should You Awaken to go with it next week when the event starts in a few days' time. But because I don't know what the second EX, if there even is one, is going to be on those banners, I would rather wait until we know for sure what those are going to be, and I'll try and get that video out as soon as I can within that time frame. But for now, my recommendation when it comes to Paloms Lost Chapter is to earn the few thousand gems that you get from doing it, and to refrain from pulling from this banner, because I don't think that anything you could possibly get from it, unless you're a massive Palom and FF4 fan, is going to last you very long. It would be cool to get, and I've had characters that I have EXs for that make, like, I've just got randomly, like Edgar, who I've become really, really enamoured by, and Palom might be that character for you, but in terms of meta and going forward and how long-lasting this character is going to be, I wouldn't personally even spend 5,000 gems on this banner, let alone 75,000. So that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. In short, should you pull for Palom? Does he get a toot or a boot from me? I'm afraid to say that Palom's banner is going to have a complete boot from me, and I wouldn't be caught dead pulling on this banner personally. But if you're an FF4 fan, then you may feel differently from me. Don't forget to check out all of the links in the description box below, including my Twitch channel, my Patreon channel, where you can get early access to all of my videos, including this one, and my Discord channel, where we all share friend units and discuss Omnia and the trading card game, and a bunch of other Final Fantasy goodness. So thanks very much for watching again. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.